He didn't say much, just showed up in a faded flannel shirt, jeans, and a plain ball cap with no insignia. His shooting stance was old school, his groupings flawless. The young guns thought he was just some retired trucker blowing through ammo, until a SEAL recruit caught a glimpse of the tattoo on his forearm while he reloaded, and froze. Not because it was loud or flashy, but because it wasn't. It was a symbol you don't just ink, you earn. When the recruit asked where he served, the whole range went quiet because the answer wasn't words, just a number and a year. Suddenly, no one was laughing. Welcome to the Silent Stories. Before we dive into this tale of silence, skill, and a forgotten legend, drop a comment. Where are you reading from today? And if you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, hit that like button and subscribe to keep these heroes' tales alive. The range was a storm of sound. Sharp cracks of gunfire, the sting of gunpowder thick in the air, and the low buzz of bravado from a squad of Navy SEAL recruits fresh from their latest drill. They strutted between stalls, slinging jabs and sizing up targets, their instructors' shouts slicing through the noise. Tucked away, almost invisible, was an old man. Gray hair cropped tight, flannel shirt tucked into worn Levi's, a plain ball cap pulled low, no logo, no flair. Just a guy, maybe a retired mechanic or trucker, burning a box of ammo to kill time. That's what they figured anyway. His name was Martin. Just Martin, scrawled in slow, deliberate cursive on the range's sign-in sheet. Every morning, like clockwork, he'd roll in at 6:45, nod to the clerk, and claim lane 7, farthest from the chatter and Bluetooth speakers. His gear was sparse, a beat-up pistol case, a single box of .45 ACP, and a dented thermos that never left his side. His boots, scuffed but polished, crunched softly on the gravel as he set up. The regulars called him Pops, chuckling about his old-school stance and how he'd pack up after exactly 30 rounds. To them, he was a relic, a hobbyist with too much time. But the range staff saw something else. The way he scanned the room without moving his head. The way his hands moved with quiet, lethal grace. The way his eyes didn't just see the target, they saw through it. That morning, the place was packed. A crew of SEAL trainees, off-duty but still wired, had rolled in, their gym bags flashing trident pins and unit patches. Among them was Ethan, a lean 23-year-old with a buzz cut and a chip on his shoulder, on leave before shipping to Coronado for advanced training. He was good, damn good, and he knew it. Setting up 2 lanes down from Martin, he barely noticed the old man at first, too busy ribbing his buddies and punching tight groupings downrange. But then he heard it. Not the noise, but the rhythm. Pop, pop, pop. Pause. Pop, pop. Pause. Each shot measured like a heartbeat. No rush, no recoil jerk. Just control. Ethan stole a glance. Martin's grip was rock solid, his stance rooted like he'd grown from the concrete. Textbook, but not the kind you learn from a manual. The kind you learn when lives are on the line. As Martin reloaded, his sleeve shifted and Ethan caught it, a faint tattoo on his forearm. Not some loud eagle or skull, but a simple mark, 2 digits and a faded insignia. Ethan froze. He knew that symbol. You didn't get that ink in a parlor. You earned it in places where survival was a gamble. He waited, watching Martin's target sprout a cluster of holes, each one kissing the bullseye. Curiosity won out. Ethan stepped closer, voice low. Sir, that tattoo. First Recon, right? Martin didn't look up. He fired one last round, dead center, set his pistol down and met Ethan's gaze. His eyes were steel, not cold, but heavy with years. Once he said, one word, flat as the desert. But it hit Ethan like a shockwave. He knew what once meant in that world. Ethan nodded, stepping back to his lane, but his focus was gone. His buddies didn't notice, too busy laughing and betting on who'd outshoot who. One of them, a kid named Ryan, leaned over, grinning. Yo, Ethan, you see Pops over there? Guy's got skills for a grandpa. Ethan didn't laugh. He kept watching Martin, the way he moved like every action was a memory. Mag in. Slide racked. Fire. Each shot a quiet echo of something bigger. 15 minutes later, Martin was done. 30 rounds, not a stray outside the inner ring. He wiped his pistol with a faded rag, slow and methodical, like he was cleaning a piece of himself. Ethan couldn't hold back. He approached again, voice low. Sir, when did you serve? Martin paused, rag in hand, and looked at him. Not annoyed, not guarded, just calm. 66 to 74. Recon. Southeast Asia. Ethan's throat tightened. That timeline, that unit, it wasn't just service. It was the kind where names vanished into redacted files, where missions never made the history books. Laos? Ethan ventured. Martin gave a half nod. Among other places. The words hung there, heavy as the silence that followed. The range's usual clamor, jokes, clinking brass, barked orders faded around Lane 7. A few recruits nearby caught Ethan's shift in posture and quieted down, sensing something. "You ever work with SEALs?" Ethan asked, almost on instinct. Martin's lips twitched, the ghost of a smile. "Back then, we all did a bit of everything. Swim. Fight. Survive. Or you didn't come back." Ethan grinned despite himself. "My CO mentioned a 71 op jungle exfil deep behind lines. Guy took 2 bullets but carried his team out. Stories still classified." Martin's eyes didn't waver. Lots of stories were classified. The door shut, not slammed, just closed. Ethan got the message, some things you don't ask twice. As Martin zipped his bag and stood, Ethan did something unplanned. He snapped to attention, no irony, no show. Pure respect. Martin paused, mid-step, and looked back. Ethan's voice was steady. "Thank you for your service, sir." Martin studied him, then walked over and pressed something into Ethan's palm. A coin, worn but heavy, with the First Recon insignia and 2 words etched on the back. "Still here. You'll know when it's time to go quiet," Martin said, voice low. "Till then, earn it." Then he turned, bag slung over his shoulder, thermos under his arm, and walked into the morning light. Ethan stood frozen, the coin's weight grounding him. He'd seen fakes, guys flaunting unearned patches, spinning tall tales. This was real. Too real. His buddies crowded around, expecting a quip, but went silent when they saw the coin. Ryan whispered, "That's legit." Ethan nodded. "That's Staff Sergeant Thomas Martin." No one spoke. The silence said it all. At the front desk, Ethan showed the coin to the clerk, who was half lost in his phone. "You know this guy?" "Martin?" The clerk squinted. "Lane 7? Yeah, T. Martin. Been coming a decade. Pays cash, no email, no fuss. Old school." He tapped his screen, then froze. "Huh. Says he opted out of any recognition, awards, events, all of it. Weird." Ethan leaned in. "Why?" The clerk shrugged. "Only thing he ever told me was I didn't do it for thanks. Creeped me out a bit." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He fired up his laptop, diving into declassified archives. It took hours, sifting through redacted names and scrambled dates, but he found it, a single line in a 1971 MACV SG report, Sergeant Thomas Martin. First Recon. Laos. March 6th. Exfil under fire. Saved 7. Wounded twice. Refused medevac. Declined award. Asset, irreplaceable. Status, silent. Silent. The word hit like a gut punch. Martin had carried that silence for decades, through every shot at Lane 7, every sip from that thermos. The next week, Martin was back. Same time, same truck, same quiet steps. But the range felt different. Ethan and his team were there early, standing straighter, watching closer. No one joked when Martin set up. Halfway through his rounds, Ethan approached, holding out a fresh box of .45s. "Figured 30 wasn't enough today, sir." Martin took it, gave a slow nod, and kept shooting. One by one, the recruits passed him as he finished, offering quiet nods or a simple "sir." Ryan lingered, voice low. "We looked you up. You saved a lot of lives." Martin didn't look up from his thermos. "Wasn't about saving lives," he said. "It was about getting them home." Then he stood, grabbed his bag, and walked out, leaving behind a silence louder than any gunshot. So, what do you think? Stories like Martin's don't get told enough. Drop a comment, where are you reading from? If you think these tales of quiet heroes deserve to live on, hit that like button and subscribe to keep their stories alive. Let's make sure they're never forgotten.